Sarah, you're really playing it safe here. I mean, you're establishing basically what's happening here is you're playing it so safely that you're not really having much differentiation in hierarchy. Okay, so in the first example, for example, the first example, you're supposed to establish your hierarchy accomplished by grouping information and changes in space. So grouping information. You haven't grouped any information here though. I mean, it's all one group, so there's no grouping going on here. So one of the things that you want to do with this assignment is to be able to group your information in little clusters so that you have groups of information instead of just kind of like these seemingly unrelated lines of text. Okay, so there's no hierarchy here. Nothing here is grouped. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 autonomous lines of text on the composition. Okay, no hierarchy. Let me show you. There's some examples. Here's an example of how you can establish hierarchy. So you've got these different groups being created, this being the headline and this being these subheads, and then these subheads get pushed further, you know, into hierarchy positions. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that there's just basically, then we go over here and what we do, you've kept the same grid, but all you've done here is just, and this is why I say, boy, you're playing it really safe. So you've taken this, you've moved it to the center, and you've made it bold and increased the point size by a few points. Okay, and then over here, it's the same layout exactly. You've just put the 1969 up top. All right, and here you're starting to get into some expressive typography, but there's no grouping. There's very little hierarchy here. I mean, there's just basically, so we say, okay, this is what you want me to look at. I'm looking at this, but that's the same as that. That's the same as that. That's the same as that. Same thing here. So let's take a look at some other examples so you can see what I mean. I think this is a good example here because this typographic little composition here, the designer saying, okay, look at me first. Okay, then there's two subsections. And then within those subsections, there's this other information. So there's this wonderful hierarchy here going on saying, okay, look at me first, then look at me, then look at me. Okay, now you can look at me and me. Okay, and then conversely, let's take a look at a couple others. These I thought were pretty successful. You got this look at me first, okay? Then you have the subhead, so automatically. Then all of these are equal in hierarchy, yet that hierarchy is completely different than this and not as high. So you have this 1, 2, 3, and an exit strategy. So you have this really good hierarchy going on. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm going to see if I can find another example. Well, I think you get the picture. Like here's this hierarchy being created by these different groups too. Now let's look at this one here. Okay, so you have this. This is definitely different than this. So this is indicating it's more important, all right? Now these are the same, but this is indicating that it's more important than these. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm really wanting to see in your work. I'm wanting to see these grouped relationships. So you have not only you have your point size and your scale size, but you also have these little subgroups. Okay, then make sure they make sense too. Like you wouldn't group FR layout and body with 230 cubic inch because that's about the motor and that's about the body. Did you see what I'm saying? Personally, I don't think you have quite enough information in this piece. Look at all the information this designer has. You got the car, the year, the model. You got the engine and the engine specifications. Then you got the speeds and the speed specifications. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a dozen different pieces of information. And here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't think you have enough information. Now look, I know you're not a gearhead. Actually, I don't know you're not a gearhead. You might be a gearhead. I don't know. I know I'm not a gearhead. So I would definitely have to research this assignment, no doubt, to find out what I would need to put in here. But I can definitely say that there's probably going to need some more information. There's just not enough here to get these solid groupings based on hierarchy. Okay, so you've not done anything wrong, Sarah, at all. You haven't done anything wrong at all. I just think that you can push it a lot further. I think you can really be a lot more effective with groupings and where do you want me to look first? Where do you want me to look second? The risk you take of not informing the viewer exactly where to look for this, you have this little assistant saying, you look at me first. Okay, so I'll look at you first, but then nothing here is telling me I'm more important than this or this or this. So as a viewer, you go, okay, I guess I'll go down the line because but it's kind of boring. I mean, so okay, so I'll go ahead and do it. The other risk you're running is that the viewer's just going to go, okay, there's not enough here telling me what you want me to do, what's important, what's not important. So I'm just going to move on to something else. Okay, and that's the worst thing that can possibly happen to a designer. Okay, so think about it and take a look at some of those examples and see if I'm not making sense. Please let me know, because this is really important to me. It's a really, really important part of typography, is establishing visual hierarchy, typographic hierarchy. So this has got to make sense to me, to you, for me, to be comfortable with this. So please let me know. Okay, thanks very much.